Thank you, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to those in the gallery who are joining us also online and people joining us online this evening. My name is Celia Haddock. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the City of Maribyrnong, and I welcome everyone to the special November 2025 Council meeting. I declare the meeting open at 6:32. This council meeting has been convened to determine the term of the Mayor and Deputy Mayor, to elect the Mayor and Deputy Mayor for Maribyrnong City Council, and to consider councillor committee appointments. In accordance with Clause 6.1 of Council's governance rules, it is my duty as Chief Executive Officer to chair this meeting until a Mayor has been elected by the Council. Maribyrnong City Council acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land, the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung and Boonwurrung Bunurong peoples of the Kulin Nation, and pays its respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Could I remind everyone please to switch your mobile phones off or turn to silent. I advise the gallery that this meeting is being recorded and will be available on Council's website. All care is taken to maintain your privacy, however your presence may be recorded. In accordance with Council's governance rules, meetings may not be photographed, filmed or recorded without the consent of the Chief Executive Officer. We don't have any apologies for this evening, which is great. Councillors, in accordance with the Local Government Act 2020, do any of you have a conflict of interest in relation to any of the agenda items? No conflicts of interest. We'll move on. So we'll move to agenda item 3.1, term of the Mayor and Deputy Mayor. The first item of business is to consider the term of the Mayor and Deputy Mayor. I call for a councillor to move a motion in regards to agenda item 3.1. Councillor Thomas. I call for a councillor to second the motion. Councillor Lamb. I will now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? Oh, I'm sorry. The councillor who moved it, Councillor Thomas, needs to move the motion.
That Council resolve that the term of the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor is a one-year term.
Thank you. And I'm sure the seconder agrees with that. Thank you. All right. I will now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? I think we'll do it by hand. Yes. Yes? Okay, carried. I declare the motion carried. All right. We now move on to the election of the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor. Councillors, the next item of business, as you know, is the election that I will be conducting. The election will be conducted in accordance with the prescribed requirements of Part B of Maribyrnong Council's governance rules. I will briefly explain how the election of the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor will be undertaken. I will soon invite nominations for the office of the Mayor. There is no requirement for a nomination to be seconded, and councillors, you can nominate yourself. If there is only one nomination, then I will declare the candidate to be duly elected to the office of Mayor. If there are two or more nominations, each candidate will be afforded the opportunity to address Council for a maximum of 5 minutes in the order that the nominations were received. I will then ask councillors to vote for one of the candidates by a show of hands in the order of the nominations received. I note that the Mayor must be elected by an absolute majority of councillors. An absolute majority in this instance is 4 councillors. In the event of a candidate receiving the votes of an absolute majority of the councillors, I will then declare that candidate to be duly elected to the office of the Mayor. In the event of 2 candidate nominations and neither candidate receiving the votes of an absolute majority of councillors, the councillors in attendance at the meeting will consider whether to resolve to conduct a new election at a later date and time. If it is not resolved to conduct a new election at a later date and time, councillors must continue to vote until the candidates receive the votes of an absolute majority of councillors until one of the candidates does, at which point I will declare that candidate duly elected to the office of Mayor. If, after 2 or more further votes are taken, neither candidate receives the votes of an absolute majority of councillors, the council must determine whether to resolve a new date or time to elect the Mayor. If there are 3 or more nominations and no candidate receives an absolute majority, the candidate with the fewest number of votes will be declared a defeated candidate, and councillors will then vote for the remaining candidates. A lot of information there, I know. A determination by lot may be required where no candidate is determined to have the fewest number of votes, and this will be detailed further should the need arise, but we do have the lot box here with us. If one of the remaining candidates receives an absolute majority, the candidate will then be duly elected Mayor. The same process will also be used for the election of the Deputy Mayor. All right, I will now invite nominations for the office of the Mayor. Sorry, are you? Who was first? Cook.
I would like to nominate Councillor Pradeep Tiwari for the Mayor position.
Thank you, Councillor Lamb. Do I have any other nominations? And Councillor Thomas?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Mohammed Semra.
And are there any other nominations? All right, thank you. We have 2 nominations. Okay, so I will now invite each nominee in the order received to address the council for a maximum of 5 minutes. So, Councillor Tiwari.
Thank you, CEO. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. For me, it's been a long and deeply rewarding year serving as Mayor of the City of Maribyrnong, and over the past 12 months I've come to understand our community more closely, more personally, and more fully than ever before. I've listened at every opportunity, at events, meetings, festivals, markets, community gatherings, and through countless conversations, and what I have learned has shaped the way I lead. My focus has been clear: to ensure that every voice in our city feels heard. Through greater transparency, open communication, and consistent presence, I have worked to strengthen the relationship between Council and the community we represent. I have aimed to build trust, encourage participation, and make it easier for residents and traders to engage with us. I'm proud to have commenced strong advocacy on several key issues that matter deeply to our community. This includes exploring practical relief for local traders, such as waivers and reductions in business-related fees and charges, and standing side by side with businesses navigating challenging economic conditions. I have also championed initiatives that activate our precincts, support economic recovery, and bring cultural and social vibrancy into our streets. A core part of my leadership has been the belief in creating a safe and united future for everyone in Maribyrnong. This means not only strengthening our local efforts, but also pushing forward in my advocacy with state and federal governments. I have been firm in ensuring our city's needs are heard at higher levels of government, whether it's for improved infrastructure, better services, greater investment, or more attention to the pressures facing our community. I believe I have worked hard to engage with every corner of our diverse city. I have represented Maribyrnong at countless events, large and small, because leadership to me begins with showing up, being there, listening, celebrating with people, and hearing concerns directly has been one of the greatest privileges of this role. Tonight I stand again as a candidate for Mayor because I believe continuity matters. The work we have started in advocacy, in transparency, in economic revitalisation, in community strengthening, deserves to continue with stability and momentum. I've only just begun to fully grasp the depth of what our community expects of us, and I'm determined to keep pushing for better outcomes for everyone who calls Maribyrnong home. If I receive the Councillor's support tonight, I'll continue to work tirelessly, respectfully and collaboratively with each of you. My commitment is simple: to advocate for our entire community, to strengthen our partnerships, to lead with clarity and fairness, and to serve to the very best of my ability. Thank you for considering my nomination. I look forward to the possibility of continuing this journey with you and delivering for our community together. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Councillor Tiwari. And I'll now invite Councillor Semra to address the Council for a maximum of 5 minutes.
Thank you. Before I put up my hands for this role, I sat with 3 questions. Can I do it? Should I do it? And will Maribyrnong be better off for it? After everything I've seen and everything I've worked for in this community, the answer is yes. My story begins here. I grew up in public housing in Maribyrnong, raised by a single mum who taught me that leadership isn't about a title. It's about accountability. It's about stepping up when people depend on you. It's about showing up even when no one else will. And that's been the foundation of my work in all that I do, whether it be as a councillor or as a community leader. I've spoken with young people who feel disengaged. I've spoken with residents who are feeling the cost of living pressures, and communities who often feel they're spoken about more than they are spoken to. That experience has shaped the way that I approach leadership, through listening, advocating, and building trust. And on my short time, 12 months as a councillor, I've carried that same mindset. I've championed stronger, genuine community consultation. I've worked collaboratively with my fellow councillors and tried to the very best of my ability to ensure that I do my part in creating a space where we can allow for that space to work together and achieve the very best outcomes for Maribyrnong. I put forward a motion a few months back to enhance community safety and well-being in Maribyrnong because I believe that a thriving city must also be a safe and supported one. And I've been consistent voice pushing for the renewal of our Footscray CBD, for sustainable transport, for accessible spaces. And the real work, the essential work, is ensuring that people are seen in our decisions, and a lot of that work starts next year. And I respect Pradeep for all the work that he's done this year. To be a first-time councillor and first-time mayor and do that with such courage and with such humility, I think you've done an amazing job. But I believe we need a targeted, focused approach to our advocacy priorities for next year. And next year is pivotal for Maribyrnong. Rising expectations, the community is seeking fairness, and this moment requires leadership that is connected to the lived reality of our residents. And I respect anyone who nominates today. I consider obviously Pradeep a friend, and he's done an amazing job. So to my fellow councillors, I do believe that I'm ready to lead, and I hope that I have your support today.
Thank you, Councillor Semra. I noticed some people in the chamber are filming, and I think some of you weren't here when I said at the start not to film. So could I request that if you want to use, if you're going to use any coverage publicly, could you please use the filming that's on the live stream? Thank you. All right, now the exciting part. As there are 2 nominations, and I would like to ask councillors to vote in the order the nominations were received. So councillors who please vote for Councillor Tiwari as Mayor. Who would vote for? We have 1 nomination, 1 vote.
Oh, yeah.
Did you vote? Yeah, we have 2. Do we proceed with the next vote? No. Yes, I will proceed with the next vote. So please vote for Councillor Semra, councillors that wish to. All right. I will now declare Councillor Semra the new Mayor of the City of Maribyrnong with 5 votes. Congratulations. So I'll now invite Mayor Semra up to be robed. Yes.
Sorry. I'll grab Lucas's stuff.
So just it's my laptop.
Sorry. I'll take Lucas's and move it down.
Has the mayor got a nomination? The new
Yes,
mayor?
so here's the ones right there underneath. Take his list man to stuff. See that I've already moved your plaque. That's Lucas's. Yep. 56, sorry.
Do I have to say anything else?
No, and just say, maybe you just say, now Mayor, you are now in the chair, and then he can take over, and you can, and that's his run sheet.
Mayor Semra will now take on the chair.
Pradeep, these chains are heavier than I expected. I will now be moving to agenda item 3.3, election of the Deputy Mayor. I will now invite nominations for the office of Deputy Mayor. Pradeep?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Lamb for the Deputy Mayor.
Is there any other nominations for Deputy Mayor?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Meredith.
As there are two or more nominations, I will invite each nominee in the order nominated to address Council for a maximum of 5 minutes. I invite Councillor Cook-Lamb to address Council for a maximum of 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much for Councillor Pradeep Tiwari to nominate me to be a Deputy Mayor. As a councillor in Maribyrnong City Council, that since 2000 and then up until now that I have been twice mayor for this council and one deputy mayor. My aim is own way. I would like to serve it to the resident and the community, whether the residents have any issue, rough and rubbish, or the business, they always want to serve them. And I am always listen, passion to the community, and want to serving the best to to the community as a councillor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lam. I now invite Councillor Meredith to address Council for a maximum of 5 minutes.
Cool. Firstly, I'd like to thank Mayor Tawari, and I'd also like to thank Deputy Mayor Thomas for the leadership this year. And I'd also like to thank my fellow councillors. It's been a big year, and it's been a privilege to work alongside you and representing the community. I was born in public housing 51 years ago, nearly said 1500, 51 years ago. And I grew up watching my mum work multiple jobs to lift us out of poverty. These early years have shaped my understanding of resilience, fairness and opportunity. I went on to study at Art College, the first person to graduate high school in my family, and then I completed my teaching degree. I've spent more than 20 years working as a public school teacher. These experiences have shaped who I am and how I show up to this role. I take a hands-on, action-focused approach, grounded in empathy, strength in challenging moments, and a firm belief that community voices must guide the decisions that we make. I've lived in Footscray for more than 20 years, and I care deeply about this community, its people, its places. Every day I'm reminded that the decisions that we make in these chambers affect the real lives of people on the streets. I believe in representing our community with empathy, fairness and strong advocacy. I am standing for Deputy Mayor because I am committed to making meaningful improvements for our city. I commit to 3 things. First, I will be a committed, reliable, constructive support to the incoming Mayor. Second, I will represent our community with care, passion and action. I will continue to be present on the ground, listening, communicating and advocating for our community. Third, I will keep people at the centre of every decision. The heart of our work is the community we serve, and I will always bring the focus back to how our decisions affect the lives of people that we are working for a fair, livable and future-focused Maribyrnong. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Meredith. And now we're going to ask for a show of hands in order of nominations received. Can we please get a raise of hands for those that would vote for Councillor Lam? Yeah, so, yeah. And can we please get a show of hands for those that would like to vote for Councillor Meredith? I declare Councillor Meredith elected to the office of Deputy Mayor. I will now invite nominations for the following: the Mayor and Councillor So we're going to agenda item 3.4, Councillor Committee Appointments. I'll now invite nominations for the following: the Mayor and Councillor as representatives to the Audit and Risk Committee. Yep, Audit and Risk.
Can I nominate Councillor Tawari for the Audit and Risk Committee?
Yep. Can we please get a show of hands for those that would like to?
There's only one.
Oh, there's only one, okay. Yeah, that's it. Now, we don't vote, okay.
It's just one councillor, so.
The Mayor as chairperson and Councillor, 3 councillors as representatives to the Chief Executive Officer Employment Matters Advisory Committee. Councillor Thomas?
So I'd like to nominate Councillors Lam, Pereira and Thomas as representatives to the Chief Executive Officer Employment Matters Advisory Committee.
Yep.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Tawari to the same committee.
There are 4 councillors that have been nominated for 3 positions. So I'll just refer to our... We don't usually have a... We don't normally have an election for committees. I'm just looking at my rule book over there. I think it's the first 3 that are nominated. Am I correct?
There is the option to have an election for the 3 to be elected to this committee, or council can resolve to appoint 4. I mean, whilst they have terms of reference, they have 3 on the committee. Council can actually nominate to have extra councillors on there if they so wish.
So through the Mayor, would you like to get an notification from councillors if they would like 4?
Yep. That's fine.
We're good.
Maybe everyone agrees?
No,
No, Councillor Thomas doesn't agree?
3, we've got 3. It's in the terms of reference. I'm happy to stick with the terms of reference rather than change it now. Otherwise, we have to change the terms of reference, I think. Can we get clarification on that?
So I'm just looking at...
I don't know what we do now, because I've nominated 3 and that's...
So you
I
can,
guess.
if you want to, Councillor Thomas is correct in terms of the terms of reference. However, I do understand that if the council was of a mind to resolve for 4, so we'd need a motion to be moved that 4 councillors are appointed to that committee.
Should we not vote
Yeah.
on, do we have to vote on the first one though, if we've already got a motion?
Well, the motion hasn't been kind of moved as such yet. It's just the names have gone forward. So, Lucas, can you help us out here? It is unusual. Do you want to talk in here?
To get your councillor to call for an alternative motion to include 4 people.
Yeah.
So you'd have to call for a councillor to move a motion and then the councillor.
Yep. Yep. Can I get a councillor to move an alternate motion? Councillor Yangi?
That the terms of reference be updated from 3 to 4 councillors.
I don't think that's the motion, is it?
No,
that's
point of
not
order,
the
that's
motion.
not a-
The
that's
motion
not a
is
motion.
that the motion was 3 councillors. Maybe is the, I'm just looking at Phil, is the option is for the wants to move for 4. If this motion is lost, they add, is that the right? Yeah. So the motion as it stands has 1 councillor on the Audit and Risk Committee, 3 councillors and the Mayor as chairperson on the Employment Matters Advisory Committee, and 1 councillor with a substitute on the Lead West Joint Delegated Committee. Okay. So generally, we would put that to that motion to the vote, but if someone wanted to... Or is it just an amendment, Phil?
Through the chair, I would suggest...
Excuse me, gallery, but we haven't had this before, so...
I would suggest we split this up, so we go back and get council to appoint the Mayor and Councillor Tawari to the Audit and Risk Committee and have a move and second it and get that moved. Then we'll go to this second motion about the CEO Employment Matters Advisory Committee. We've got Councillor Thomas moved 3 councillors, so that really, if we get a seconder for that, then I think we should put that to the vote as in the first instance. And if that fails, then we proceed to consider other councillors being
So
appointed.
can a councillor foreshadow that if that is
Yes,
lost, they would
yes,
like to move
they
another
can, yes.
motion?
But I would
Okay.
suggest, if we're going to do that, we split this up and resolve on each committee independently of each other.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. So, individually. Yeah. So doing very well here.
Yep.
Mayor Semra, on your first meeting.
Can I get a councillor to move a motion, please?
We're going to do them individually, if you're happy with that.
That's fine.
And so if the motion is regarding the Audit and Risk Committee, the Mayor and, at the moment, the Mayor and Councillor Tiwari for the Audit and Risk Committee, could someone move that motion?
Councillor Yengi?
That council appoints the Mayor and Councillor Tiwari as representatives to the Audit and Risk Committee.
Yep. Can second it? Yep. Councillor Lam. And I will now put the motion to a vote.
I think a show of hands is good for tonight. So that's carried.
And that's carried.
So now we move to the Mayor as chairperson and councillors Thomas, Lamb and Pereira as representatives to the Chief Executive Officer Employment Matters Committee. So if you could ask for someone to move that motion.
Can I have a councillor please move that motion? Councillor Thomas?
Do you want to, sorry, you'll have to restate it, Councillor Thomas.
That council appoints the Mayor as the chairperson and councillors Thomas, Lamb and Pereira as representatives to the Chief Executive Officer Employment Matters Advisory Committee.
And a seconder?
Yep. Can I get a seconder? Councillor Lam? I'll now put the motion to a vote.
Could we have a show of hands, please? So that's carried. There's 5. And now we move to the third.
Yep. Councillor as the councillor delegate and councillor as a proxy councillor delegate to the Lead West Joint Delegated Committee. Can I get a councillor to move a motion? Councillor Tiwari?
That appoints Councillor Yengi as the councillor delegate and Councillor Pereira as a proxy councillor delegate to the Lead West Joint Delegated Committee.
You need a seconder.
Can I get a seconder? Councillor Thomas? I will now put the motion to a vote. Can I get a show of hands for all those in favour?
Carried.
And that's carried.
Say congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone. Okay.
All right, so now you're declaring the meeting closed at
What's the time?
7:05.
7:05.
7:05.
Okay, thank you all for keeping up with us. I can now declare the meeting closed at 7:05 p.m.
And I would invite those of you